Interesting. Okay, so next, though, this is weird. Wow. So Jerry Davion sent this question on Wednesday, July 7th. Okay. A wonderful question, Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
Hi, K100 fam. Thank you so much for always for taking my question. Just had a quick question about Paul Orndorff. I know you guys could have heard by now that Mr. Wonderful has fallen on some hard times recently with his health. He's currently suffering from dementia and it's very sad to see him, currently on his last legs. Since you guys worked with Paul in WCW where he was an agent, do you guys have any funny or interesting stories with interacting with Paul? I know back in MLW days, you guys told the story about Paul getting injured in the ring on pay-per-view with the Natural Born Thrillers. But I was wondering if you had any other interesting stories about the legendary Mr. Wonderful that you could share. Thank you very much, Best Jared.
Yeah.
So since this email has been written today, the news has dropped that Paul Orndorff has passed away.
Yeah.
So this is kind of surreal, like reading this after you just asked about him like a few days ago. I got a funny story about him. So me and Canyon and him and we had a tour in Germany 2 weeks around Christmas time. So it was the crowd, the roads were snow on the roads, cold outside, and everything. And the tour was weird because we had this promoter called Dieter Krapp. Okay. And this guy was like he was about the type of guy that his name sounded like. In Germany, this is back in the late 90s. In Germany, I don't know if the culture's changed, but when we were there, when people talk to each other here in the United States, there's a basic distance that we have that we maintain, like that barrier where you're too close to somebody. The Germans are they get inside the U.S. barrier when they talk. Okay, there's like they're closer to you than usual. Okay, and Dieter Krapp was a smoker. So when he'd come and talk to you, he'd be right in your face with smoke breath. And he was a very just off-putting person. Okay, so that's a little preamble on that thing. But we had like probably 10 or 12 black 4-door BMWs instead of buses. It's not a bus tour. We had black BMWs with all the drivers, and we would partner up in the cars. Okay, so every day we did. Do you remember were you on this tour, Conan?
I don't remember.
Every day when we pull out of the hotel to go travel, these guys would take a wrong turn. It was like hysterical, right? So it was funny because Paul would always be just getting disgusted with the drivers, like, what the f***, So there was one time we're driving behind a guy, like Paul would sleep the whole time, okay? He'd just be sleeping. He'd wake up every once in a while. And like me and Candace just be sitting in the back, whatever, like we'd be shooting the shit. So like one day we're doing on one of these drives, and like we're driving by a bunch of cows, then he goes to the German guys, he goes, what's the deal with all this mad cow? He's oh yes, he goes, the cows, it's very bad. It's very bad. You can't hear cows. He goes, well, how do you know that the cows are mad? It's like, what do? Moo like hell all the time? And so the guy's like, I don't know. So he would always just like pick on the driver and stuff and everything. So we pull up at a stoplight, and right behind us is a car. And in English, across the top of the windshield, in big bold letters right across the whole top of the windshield, it said, okay? Orndorff sees this and is like, what the hell is that? And the driver says, what? He goes, that is no good? He goes, no. He goes, you kidding me? He goes, you can't do that in the United States. He goes, you can't discriminate against anybody. Not the gays, the or anybody. It was just funny, man. Like then he would just go back to sleep, But that was funny. But he was a fun. That was a fun ride. If Canyon was alive today, we used to crack up about that trip all the time because Orndorff was just constant grumpy old man comedy the whole time. Because I think he's in charge of the tour. So, but rest in peace. I got along with him. So,
there was
any comments, Conan?
Yeah, I never really hung out with Paul Orndorff.
Yeah,
there was a clip posted on Twitter, Disco, obviously, that you saw where he kind of mocked the disco dancing and then dropped an elbow on it. Was that the only time you ever wrestled him?
I wrestled him twice.
Twice? Yeah.
Yeah. Once on a Nitro, once on a Saturday night.